Hello my good friends, hello designers, and hello everyone who are out there. My name is TRU-HART and welcome to TRU-HART collection. So today in this video we are going to learn how to draft the back pattern for the plastic flat trouser for men, of course for men. And so do you know those good fitting trousers that the men of these days would want to wear that should fit me so well? Yes, with me you are going to learn that. And so please stay tuned, and if this is your first time to learn on this channel, yes, you're most welcome, but of course you need to watch the first video about the trousers, especially how to measure, and then you come to the second video, and then you can end with this. Yes, that way you can be on the same page, the same line, and with channel the same channel. Yes, this is TRU-HART collection. And so these are my rollers, and first thing first, let me show you that this was our front pattern. And so what I did was I traced out the front pattern. That's why you can still see it right here. I traced out, and this is my tracing wheel. And so I traced out, and after tracing it on another fresh paper, I was able to cut, and this is what I was able to get. So if you want to know how you can trace out, and so I'm going to show you how this is you can trace out. I'll use this. And so you're going to trace your front pattern from this point. You reach to that point, you go with a straight line, and then you come and cut from this point. You'll cut up to the down part, and then you cut, and you're able to get to that point. And so you, after doing that, you'll be able to get to this point right here. And so meanwhile, I'm able to indicate this line because I am going to cut it out after I drafted the back pattern. So let's get to the work. What do I need first? First, you need your front pattern. Second, you need a plain space. So this is my plain space. I hope you can able to see, and this is where I am going to work from. And so you need a square roller to just make the line straight. And so this is what I am going to do. I am going to make sure that I get my straight line. And so, yep, let me get my. So I'll use red. I'll use red because blue is here so much. I'll use red. So I'm going to make sure that I get my straight line right away from this point. I'm going to get my straight line. And I'm also going to get my straight line from up there. Yeah, so I've got my straight line go from there and up to here. And so the next thing I am going to get is I'm going to make sure that I get my pattern, that is the front pattern. I just need to get my front pattern. And so when I'm going to get my front pattern, I'm going to make sure that I put my front pattern. And meanwhile, I'll leave space between my line that I've drawn straight. Do not worry about this space. This is for the back front. And so I'm going to make sure that I leave my at least 1 inch from there. And so if you can get another pin. You can pin. I'm going to make sure that I give it pin. I'll pin up there. And I'm going to pin here. Yes. And I'm going to go far, and I'll pin my my knee line. And I'm going to get to pin right here. And so you need to notice this. In this space, you cannot do back without front. And so when you get to know that you're going to be superstar professor, you're going to be professional when you get to understand all these details. So you will not need the front pattern. You will not do front without the back. And you not do the back without the front. So these two things work one way or another, just like how you will draft other things in pattern drafting. And so I'm going to get my straight. I'm going to get a ruler, and I will mark this line straight. So that is my waistline. I'm going to make sure that I give it a straight line up there on the waistline. So the first line I'm marking straight is my waistline. And then the second line, I want you to notice this. The second line I'm going to mark straight is my crotch line. The crotch line, not the hip line. You really do not need much on the hip line. You leave the hip line as same as you do not need much attention on the knee line. You come direct to the length. Length is where you need much attention. So when I come to the length, I'm going to make sure that I mark, and then hem. I'll also mark my hem. So these are the lines I've marked, and so I'm going to as well make sure that I trace this out. I trace this out. And so from there, the first thing you need to do before you remove this pattern is to get your tape measure, and you mark 11 centimeter right from this crotch line right here. Mark 11 centimeter. Come inward 11 centimeter. And then after 11 centimeter, after marking that this is 11 centimeter, please put your hands on this. At this point, you can remove your pattern a little bit, and then you mark right there. And then immediately you can go ahead and then remove your pattern. Yes, so I've removed my pattern, and so this is what I've got, and I can now go ahead and get my my line straight. So I've moved from this point, I've moved 11 centimeters. And then I can go ahead also get my line straight. Now, so the next move we are going to do here is the allowances that we are going to move. So about this, I'm supposed to mark something. Let me just place it again and I mark for you. You need to mark, before you remove your pattern, you need to mark some where your waist stops, and you need to mark where your length width stop. You see that? This is where it stops. Why do I need those marking? So from your, why I need those marking is like this. From your waist, let's start with the length. From my length, where my length stops, I'm going to come out 4 centimeter. 4 centimeter, okay? 4 centimeter is right here. I'll give it 4 centimeter. I hope you can be able to see because it's a little bit far. 4 centimeter, and that is on the length. So we are taking the length and we shall take the crotch or the fly. So we come to the crotch, we use 8. That means you have to multiply the whatever you have put here, 4 centimeter, and then on the fly you put 8. Now when you come to the waist, you are going to put 9. You're just going to add. So now you have put this. So here you remove 9 centimeter. Now here you remove 8 centimeter, and then here you have moved 4 centimeter. Well done. Hope you are following up. So the next thing I am going to do is I'll curl my front back. Yes, I need this pattern so much. Without it, you want to do so much. So I'll get my front, and this is what now I will do. I'll pin it again. So I'll get my front, and I'm going to ensure that this length have to meet this length that I've put here. So emphasize on the length, let the rest be, but still you need those measurements. So I'm going to ensure that my length is meeting very well, and I'll get a pin or something that you need to pin. If you can pin. And so I'm going to make sure that this is a little bit disturbing. Just put like this. So you watch me what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I pin here. This is where my length is, and I will pin properly. And that way it doesn't really move. And so that is my length. Okay. So after you have marked, make sure it is really meeting. And so after it is meeting there, so you come and take on your crotch. Take the crotch to this line you have marked here. It may not be meeting, yes, but that is okay, and that's the point. You don't need to emphasize on that, and then again take it to that point. And so from there you get to see that something is going to jump. What is going to jump? Your crotch line is going to jump. So I'm going to make sure that I pin as well on this point here. I do the pin. Meanwhile here, everything is meeting. Okay guys, I was figuring out how I can pin this thing properly on this board. It wasn't easy, but I figured out it. And so this is what you will be able to get. Emphasize on the length. Make sure that the length is meeting properly, and then after making sure that the length you pinned well or you taped it well, then take the emphasize on that. Here it may jump a little bit. Yes, it's okay. As long as you are pushing it to the mark you have marked, it will really work for you. Now I just want to draw your attention to what changes are you going to get. And so you're going to get your straight ruler, the ruler that you're going to use for ruling. So this time around I'm going to use my blue. That way you get to understand what has changed right here. And so you get to understand that your the hemline is going to jump a little bit, okay? Your hemline right here is going to jump, and that is okay. You will still go with. Then from here, so this is what you're going to get. You get to understand that something will jump like this, okay? I've seen the difference between here and here. Again, you get to understand that something is going to jump like that. This is for front. Do not use it. That means you are still going ahead with that. And so you find that you are going with this clutch. I'm sure some of you may be drafting trouser and then they tell you that, you know, for the front you go down. And so you find that you never understood what logic. Why would I go down to get the back crotch? And this is what you'll get. It will come automatic. You do not need to go. So that jump is for the front. You do not need to use it. And then you'll go ahead, you realize that the waist also jumps. And that waistline there is what you're going to go with. You won't be able to. You will leave this. You won't go with that. The hem and length you don't consider. And so the most important thing here is that you consider that part. That's why I'm able to make sure that I emphasize on that. And so once you get this, what you do is you're going to trace. You're going to trace this from this point. You're going to trace from here. And then you trace and you trace. So this is what we are going to get right here. And then after tracing, you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. You can now remove. Just for emphasis, you can mark there. You don't need it. You can now remove. Yes, 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 yes. So remember the distance you have marked here. Let's now take on our. So this is what you have got. This is the figure you have got, and your waist jump. Somehow this will jump, but we're not going to go with that crotch line. We shall still remain on our crotch line, which is this part here. Here 11 centimeter. Put that. For the younger people, you can use actually 8, you can use 7, you can use 10, 9. But this is the standard you can go with. Even here, you can as well reduce according to the size of the person. So please, if you are still wondering which channel is this is TRU-HART collection. Okay, so here I'm going to get my waist, divide by 4, okay? The distance, we said that our waist, what is my waist? my waist is 31. And so if I divide my waist by 4, what do I get? For those of you who do not know how to use by dividing the tape measure, you can still go ahead and check on my other videos how to use tape measure for dividing. And so I will get right away 7.75, and that is in this tape measure. So I'm going to make sure that right from this point I will use 1 centimeter. Okay, that is it. Seam allowance for my side seam, and then I will start putting my waist measurement up right after the 1 centimeter. And so I will use that waistline. This is where my waist stops. You understand? Actually, this for the front, you can see that one they have used it for a staff. And so if this is where it stops, I will add 2 centimeter for that allowance. Okay? That allowance. I'll add 2 centimeter for that allowance. And so from this point where this stops, I'll add 2 centimeter. So my 2 centimeter is right there, is for that allowance. Okay? And then I'll go ahead, I'll as well add 4 centimeter. So you could be wondering, why do I need that 4 centimeter? Okay? So the 4 centimeter which I am going to add here is going to be emergency allowance. So emergency allowance is for you for the future use. You know, when someone comes and the waist you thought is 31 has become 32, then that 4 centimeter could actually help you. And so this is what you're going to do. After getting all this together, you will go ahead and bring your line down to this one. So the first line I'm going to take is going to be this line, which is going to be right here. And then the next line I'm going to take is this line. So here you need to have 2 lines coming, and this is where you're going to stitch from. Okay, this is going to be your allowance. So you have to have these 2 lines that is coming on, and then immediately on this point here you're going to go 1 using this waist point. And that's where actually the confusion comes. We are using this waist on this waistline, that has jumped when you put the front pattern. You are doing 1.5 centimeter up, and that's where now we are getting this from. So this line is not there, and that's where we are getting this from. So that is where my new back waist line. Okay, this is where now my new back waistline is. And so if you can verify. You have to make sure that distance from here to here should be 7 point that, and then you go 6 centimeter. So you could see that when you verify that, you're able to as well get this line. So what next do you need? All you need is now to curve. If you do have a curved ruler, well and good, but if you do not have, you can still use your hands to curve. But let me see if I can use my curved ruler. So curved ruler, you could see that it has given me a better fitting. Now, that's to make sure that this person is not going to come and start complaining, this stuff is looking not good, tight, and so on. That 1 inch you have left, you can get your good ruler, and then you can just place it there and go down with it. And that's all what you need for the back. This thing of like go down and for the back pattern and so pattern onto drafting the back pattern. It will come automatic, guys. And so there are so many ways to draft patterns, but this works for me. And so if you are a total beginner, just know you're on the right page. But if you've already have other methods of drafting, then maybe you could try this out and see if it can work for you. And so next video we shall do maybe how to put the dart length for the back, how to get the dart, and how to get the pocket, the back pocket, the length, the width, and so on. And so all that will come to our next video. Thank you for watching. May you please subscribe and tap on the bell if you haven't done it. And so let's see you on our next video. Bye bye.